And we are back. Thank you so much for coming back. Listen, I am super excited to be here. This is day 5. Can you believe it? We are already on day 5 of me going live for these 30 days, talking about how to become a better dater. Yes, so I know that you are thinking about and or wanting to be a part of the status quo of people that are already in a relationship. And before you jump into doing all that, let's talk about how to become a better dater, specifically for my Black women over 40. Those are the ladies that I cater to and serve. Of course, this information can help you if you are younger, and being a Black woman, standing up for yourself, knowing what you want before you get out there is essential in order for you to become and to attract as well as be a part of a healthy, sustainable relationship. So, who am I? Why should you listen to me? I am Marshawn Alanio. I am a shift relationship strategist. I help Black women over 40 to cultivate beautiful, loving relationship using tailored strategies in order for them to create thriving relationships all over. So today's topic is self-worth, how to build self-worth and relationship desirability. For these next few minutes, we are going to talk about what relationship desirability and self-worth are, as well as some techniques and strategies to gain those things if you are lacking them, as well as why you need to have them ideally before you get into a relationship. So this is the ideal situation. However, I know that being 40 plus, most of us have been in some type of a relationship before. It could be a girlfriend boyfriend situation, an engagement, or a marriage. And let's be real, some situationships and just you don't really know what's actually happening is a part of that area as well. So let's talk about it really quickly. Building self-worth and relationship desirability is essential before entering a relationship because it establishes the foundation for a connection rooted in mutual respect, understanding, and growth. Self-worth is the cornerstone of how you perceive and present yourself to the world and the people around you. When you value yourself and understand your worth, you naturally communicate your boundaries, your needs, your expectations, ensuring that any relationship you enter aligns with your values and it contributes to your well being, which is also very important. Now, without this strong sense of self, it becomes easier to fall into unhealthy patterns, such as settling for less than what you deserve, tolerating mistreatment, or even compromising your identity for the sake of keeping a partner. We're not doing that no more. We're not doing that no more. Moreover, understanding your value allows you to approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than from lack. Instead of seeking someone to complete you or to fill a void, you recognize that a partner should complement your life, not define it. Let me say that again. You recognize that a partner should complement your life, not define it. This mindset creates space for a relationship that enhances your growth, where both partners are equally invested in supporting and uplifting each other. When you build self-worth, you naturally exude confidence, authenticity, and emotional stability. These are all qualities that not only make you more desirable as a partner, but also attract the right kind of partner. Someone who values your independence, respects your individuality, and supports your growth. And all of this will be drawn to the secure and self-assured energy you bring into that relationship. All of these things are important. Ultimately, prioritizing self-worth ensures that you enter a relationship with clarity about who you are and what you need, which prevents you from settling for less and creates the foundation for a thriving, fulfilling relationship. Now, by focusing on yourself first, which is something that I teach and preach to my clients, you set the stage for a relationship that is not only deeply meaningful, but also sustainable and enriching for both partners. So, all of this basically means You have to understand who you are and that you can have both. It's not a either or a versus. Self-worth and relationship desirability are both needed inside of the relationship. Now, here's why. Let's talk about here's why. Why does this matter before you get into a relationship? A lot of this matters because it prevents some things. The first thing that it prevents is dependency. When you're secure in your self-worth, you won't rely on your partner for validation. It's not to say that you don't like when you get validated, but you don't rely on it. And that's a difference. Instead, you contribute to the relationship from a place of wholeness. Have you ever noticed or been around people? It could even be in your friendships where they feel that they always have to get and seek somebody's permission for them to do a certain thing. It might be the outfit that they're wearing. Does this look good? Should I wear this? Or are they sending a whole bunch of pictures for you to say yes or no? Or, because they're not comfortable in their own skin. They don't want to feel out of place. Well, that's not what we're doing anymore. Over the age of 40, at some point, you have to own who you are, flaws and all. Love the skin that you're in. And if you don't, the things that you can't control, do something about those things that you can control. If you can't control it, it's just not even for you to even worry about. If you don't like your attire, your closet full of clothes, you can hire somebody to help you. Like, that might not be your area where you are feeling really, really good. You might not be able to have the eye for a particular outfit. You can hire somebody that actually loves to do that. And or there are subscriptions that you can subscribe to in order to be able to help you put together the right outfit that fits your type of body. You can do that. You don't have to use all of your brain cells. Let somebody else's area of genius shine in your life. Get you a stylist if you can afford one. If not, you can start literally going on, Pinterest, going on Pinterest and looking for clothing and outfits and stuff that you like and start pinning them to your board and then start going out there to buy that stuff. If this is your example of because you need to get everybody's opinion, it's about your clothing, right? It could be other areas of your life as well. And I'm sure that it is. But with that being said, you don't want to be dependent on somebody's external validation in order for you to feel good. Because here's the thing. If you give them that power, when they have an off day, your world is going to be shattered. You don't want somebody to be able to have the power over your life like that, that is going to overshadow and shatter your self-worth, self-esteem. Don't give them that power. It's great to hear you look good. It's great for them to tell you, oh my goodness, X, Y, and Z looked really, and you did, and congratulations. All of that's great. But it is in addition to how you already feel about you. Another reason why this matters before you get into a relationship ideal is because it promotes healthy standards. Healthy standards. Knowing your value ensures that you set and maintain healthy expectations of how you are treated. People do not just treat you any kind of way if you don't allow them to. They will treat you any kind of way if you are somebody that is just allowing everybody to run over you, treat you any kind of way, talk to you any kind of way. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. So we want you to have healthy standards and putting people in their place when they need to be put in their place. Speaking up and using your God-given voice when you need to. This is how you show your relationship desirability as well as your self-worth. You're not just allowing anybody to say anything to you how they want to say it to you. That's not what we're doing. We're not accepting and settling for less. We've done that before. At 40 plus, we shouldn't be accepting just anything from anybody because we want to be a part of something, in this case, a relationship. If you feel like you have to do and show up a certain kind of way all the time and it doesn't feel right in your spirit, that person should not be allowed to be a part of your life. You got to make some tough decisions in order to attract better in our life. Why is this important? Not only does it prevent dependency and promote healthy standards, it also helps you to attract the right partner. Confidence and self-respect draws partners who value and respect you in return. You don't want somebody to just be in your life that treats you any type of way, that does not respect you, that loves that you have low self-esteem so they can run over you and treat you some type of way. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're allowing in our lives any longer. We've been there, done that. We've been there, done that at this point. And as Black women 40 plus, we're no longer accepting bad behavior or just because we want to be a part of a relationship, one that is actually not going to be fulfilling at all. That's not what we're doing. We're owning exactly what we deserve. We're asking for our needs to be met. The other reason why this matters is because it strengthens longevity. Relationships are more likely to thrive when both individuals bring their best selves to the table, not just one. Both of you have to be healthy in order for the relationship to be sustainable and held for a long period of time. All of this matters. All of this matters. So, how do you build self-worth? Now, let's talk about the how. How do you build your self-worth if you've been struggling with it for a period of time or all your life? Well, one of the things that you have to do is you have to embrace self-awareness. Embrace self-awareness. Reflect on your values, your strengths, and the areas for improvement. You might need some help. Journaling, therapy, or coaching can help you uncover and address any limiting beliefs you hold about yourself. We have to be aware of the things that hold us back. We have to be aware of the things that kept us struggling in our past relationships. We have to be aware of all of the things that didn't go right, why they didn't go right, and what part you played in them not going right. See, we mess up and always point the finger, not realizing there are multiple fingers pointing back at us, not realizing that you played a part in the demise of your relationship. See, I take ownership that I played a part in the demise of every relationship that I was a part of in my younger years. Every single one. Now that I'm older, I don't repeat those same mistakes over and over again. When I was just giving any man at the time of day just because I didn't want to be alone, not realizing that the very man I was giving the time of day was still making me feel alone, as though we were not together. We were not building anything together. And once I finally took off the rose-colored glasses, once the fantasy stage was over, and I really saw who he truly was, and started to really love on myself and own who I am, I was able to walk away from every relationship, and let's be real, situationship, because that's what it takes. Being aware of how you're showing up. So embrace your self-awareness. It is a must. It is a must. Another thing is setting boundaries. We talked about this several times, so I'm not going to go deep into it. Let's go to the next one, which is celebrating the small wins. We don't do that enough. Regularly acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small, in order to build your confidence. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you leaned into acknowledging what you achieved? no matter how small. It literally could be, this is small. I got out of bed today. I have been feeling really down for the past week, and I mustered up the strength to get out of bed, number one. Number two, to take a shower, to actually take care of my physical, take care of this body odor that I just been lingering in. That's a small win. If that's something that you've been struggling with, maybe your small win is, I have been saying that I'm going to take care of my body, and I have not been taking care of my body. So maybe your small win is, I actually walked around the block twice today. That's a small win. You're not going to see a whole lot of difference in your body by walking around the block twice, but you are starting to get yourself into building a new habit, a new behavior. So the result will be that you have more energy, that you like the way that you look in your clothes, no matter what the scale number says. You have to be aware, and you also have to celebrate where you are already winning. If you can't do that, how are you going to do that when it's time to get into the relationship? Celebrate your small wins. Another thing is to invest in yourself. Pursue your personal growth through education, through hobbies, and already mentioned, but I'll say it again, fitness. This demonstrates to yourself that you are worth the effort. You're worth the effort. You got to put in the effort, but you are worth the effort. Knowing that you are worth it makes it even easier, not easy, but it makes it easier for you to get up and do what needs to be done in order to feel good about yourself. So invest in your education, the stuff that you know that you are lacking in, the areas that you want to be better in 2025. You're here watching this because you want to be better at dating. You have to invest in yourself. Maybe it's taking it to the next level and getting some coaching or therapy. Maybe you're like, you know what? I really want to take my fitness serious this year. Maybe your first step is walking around the block. Maybe your next step is getting on YouTube and working out with some of the trainers on YouTube. And then maybe your third step, because you're like, okay, I've done that. Now I've started to build a habit. Let me actually look into what it would cost to work with a personal trainer, one that I go to or one that comes to me. It's levels to these things, but there's growth and progression that can happen in all areas of our life. Even when I'm working with my clients, I literally celebrate the wins for them, because a lot of times they are not used to celebrating their own wins. And so when I point out something that I've seen the growth because we've been working together, I say it to them. They're like, you know what? I didn't even look at it like that. It's because you have your blinders on. And that's where maybe you need some accountability and or somebody else to help you recognize the wins. Recognize and celebrate the wins even before you recognize them. So invest in yourself. The things that I just mentioned, therapy, coaching, fitness trainer, all of those things are going to cost you, but that is your investment. A lot of us are willing to invest in things that have no longevity. And I'm about to say concerts. I'm not knocking concerts. I like going to concerts. But that's not the only area that I am quote unquote investing in. Concert is for a moment, it's an experience for a few hours. But learning how to become a better dater, showing up to training like this, and taking in the information and actually implement it into your life, on your next date, that's where you are growing. That's how you are investing in yourself, no matter how small your investment is. Continuously doing that, at some point, you're going to want to work with somebody, because at some point, you're going to get stuck. And in order to get unstuck, you got to do something different. And it might be to invest by coming out of money out of your pocket. Let's be real. Okay. The next thing is to practice positive self talk. So many of us as Black women have a tendency to talk down about ourselves, especially when nobody is around, calling ourselves names, dumb, stupid, ugly, too fat, too whatever. Don't do that to yourself. Every time you speak love and light into yourself, every time you have a positive affirmation, and I talked about this yesterday, so I'm not going to go deep into it, but every time you talk about and affirm yourself versus talking down about yourself, research has actually shown that 41% of people that speak life and love into themselves, that have this affirming mantra or affirmations into them, 41% express that they have more life satisfaction. Don't you want to feel satisfied in your life? Aren't you tired of going through the same humdrum stuff? So replace your self criticism with affirmations and compassionate dialogue. That is how you build your self worth. Now, let's talk about how to build your relationship desirability. Relationship, the one of the ways to build your relationship desirability is to focus on your emotional health. Work on managing your emotions, healing from your past relationships, and becoming emotionally available. I had a client one time and we were talking about this specific subject, and she was saying how she wanted to have closer relationships, not just romantic, but she felt like some of her relationships with her friendships were superficial. And she recognized that she may be the problem. After having a few sessions and talking through things and asking different questions, we did recognize that she was actually the problem. She was scared to get vulnerable and allow people to see the real her. This was one of the things that was hindering her from getting to the next level and for her relationships to go deep versus superficial. Again, not just through her romantic relationship. And she noticed the pattern because she was still dating, and the relationships were kind of ending all the same way. And so we kind of unpacked why that was happening and how she can be better at being vulnerable and why being vulnerable is a strength and not a weakness. A lot of people look at being vulnerable as a weakness versus a strength. It really is a strength. It's not a weakness. So work on your emotional health. Ask yourself some of those tough questions. Are you actually emotionally available yourself? Yes, you want your partner to have all this stuff, but I'm talking about you. We're not pointing the fingers at anybody else. We're taking accountability for ourselves and how we are showing up and why that awareness piece, why we keep attracting the same over and over and over again. There's a reason for that. Are you emotionally available in order to open up your heart so you can receive the love as well as emotional support and even give it to your partner, to your friends, to your child or children, to everybody that's in your personal circle? Another way to build relationship desirability is to enhance your communication skills. Practice active listening. What is active listening? Active listening is literally listening. It is not talking while the other person is speaking or interrupting. It is you leaning in. When it's your turn to talk, ask questions to clarify, to make sure that you understand what the person was saying to you regarding the topic that was just at hand. Leaning in, body language that says, I'm here with you, I'm with you, I hear you, I support you. Actively listening to what they have to say so they feel important. It is also expressing your needs. When was the last time you were able to express your needs with clarity? Having the confidence to express your needs with clarity. When was the last time you were able to do that? Finally, conflict resolution. Some of us suck at some of us suck at conflict resolution. Let's be real. Some of y'all just shut down. Some of y'all walk away, literally gone out the door. Some of y'all do this silent treatment, stonewalling. That's another word for it. How are you with conflict resolution? Are you actually looking for solutions to resolve said issue? Or are you constantly pointing the finger and blaming and shaming and making your partner feel guilty about the things that he is not doing with you, to you, for you? Instead of figuring out, you know what? I'm actually tired of having this same conversation. Can we have a real conversation about what needs to happen, what things we need to put in place so this conversation can stop occurring? Think about in your relationship or in your previous relationships, right? Because these are areas of weakness that you can start working on. When you would have a conversation or when y'all was having a yelling battle, whatever. When did you bring solutions to the table? This is something that I really help my clients with. I don't care if you complain. You should complain when you're not feeling loved, heard, seen, respected. You should complain. However, what I would like for you to do is not stop at the complaining stage. I want you to take it a step further. When you go to complain about said issue that you have, also take a solution with you. It does not mean that he's going to agree to say a solution, but what it does do is that it opens up the door to have a conversation about how and why we can stop this thing from happening in said future. That's what we're doing. That's how we are maturing. That's how we are cultivating these relationships that stand the test of time, by owning our junk and being mature enough to take it a step further to say, you know what I did before didn't work for me. So I'm going to do something different this time around. I have to do something different this time around. It's that important. I'm sick and tired of being on the hamster wheel, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I'm sick and tired of being insane, because that is the definition. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's not what we're doing. All right. So enhance your communication skills, focus on your mental health. The other way to rebuild your relationship desirability is to live with purpose. What is your purpose? Engage in activities that align with your passions and your purpose. Authenticity and fulfillment are magnetic qualities. Have you ever seen somebody just be themselves, unapologetic? It's something about that energy that what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna say transforms. That's not the word I'm looking for, but it transpires over to you. When you see somebody out there dancing and they just doing their thing, it may, even if you don't get up and go out there with them and you start dancing in your seat, or you start watching them, you got a big smile on your face. It's something about their energy that comes over to you. You want to take part of that. If there is somebody that you know that's always happy, like you very rarely see them upset, they are making a choice to do that, number one. But then again, there's something about their energy where you want to be around them. You want to be around people that make you feel good. If you find yourself at the end of the day, you're in a relationship and you don't want to go inside the door, check yourself. If you have a conversation with your spouse and you see them out in the car for half an hour to an hour, they pulled up a long time ago, but they didn't come through the door. Y'all need to have a conversation about that. There is something in that atmosphere, in the environment, when he gets out of his car, that ain't right. I'm not talking about him having a business call that ran over. No, I'm talking about you see him in the car scrolling on his phone and he has yet to get out and come in. There is an issue with the environment, with the energy inside of your home. If you're not in a relationship, check, because you could be feeling this way yourself. This is not just a man thing. It's not just a man thing. Although I've heard it from multiple men. They sit out in the car to try to get their mind right because they know they're coming into some muck, some junk. some complaints without solutions. We got to check ourselves. Live on purpose. Allow your hee hee ha ha to be there for your partner instead of giving it to everybody else. And then when you see him, your energy is completely off. The energy between y'all builds more distance than it does connection. This is how we're being a better dater. This is how we're becoming more attractive. This is how we're showing up. The other way to build your relationship desirability is that this helps you to exude confidence. Like all of these things coupled together helps you to exude the confidence that you have. Because when you know and own your worth, it naturally increases your appeal to others. I know this to be absolutely true from my own, me being me. It exudes confidence. For a long time, I talked about your wardrobe. For a long time, I didn't necessarily hate my wardrobe, but I wasn't really like owning it. And then I just started buying pieces because I have a vision to see what looks good. And it's funny because whenever I'm with my friends or whatever, or on a date, whatever, the point is I usually get complimented on my outfit. Is it every single time? Of course not, whatever. But the majority of the time I get complimented on my outfit. I have an eye for it. It's okay. That might not be your area. But what I started doing, because now I'm here. Years ago, I didn't really like the way I was just like, I'm not comfortable. I was transitioning from me being hot girl 20s to me being in my 30s. And I was just like, well, what does this now look like? And so what I started doing was I didn't like put together like a vision board or anything like that, although that can help if that's your thing. I just started watching classy, that's what I call them, classy women, and the pieces that they had, and I would start to purchase them, i.e., collect them for myself. And then when I started having these pieces, I would put them all together. And then I noticed that my confidence, how I showed up, I wasn't always tugging at something to cover up or tugging at a short skirt because I wanted it to be longer, even though I bought it short. You exude confidence when you know what you want. You exude confidence when you're able to communicate your needs and your wants. You exude confidence when you're able to focus on your mental health and know that sometimes you just got to say no to everybody around you, except you. You can exude confidence by investing in yourself. A lot of times when I'm working with my clients, it's funny because they'll come back to me and tell me how they have been sharing this information with their significant other and or their friends. And it seems like they turn into the coach. And I love to hear that though. I love to hear that because what we're talking about and what we're working on in their life is coming through. Other people are seeing what's actually happening in their life through the work that we are doing together. And that makes me feel really good, of course, but I really love to see my clients exuding their light. They're shining. A lot of times when they come to me, they're really dim, hopeless, not hopeful. But we be helping to point out and us celebrating their small wins together. And just talking about ways that they can show up, how they can speak up, how they ask for the things that they want, how they can set and enforce the boundaries. They're becoming more aware of how they're showing up in this world and how others are seeing them. And I want you to have the same. I want you to have the same. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to talk about 2 ways to make this personal shift. 2 techniques. One of the first things is to embrace wholeness over completing narratives. The idea that your romantic partner completes you can be damaging. Redefine your relationship by looking for a complement to your life, not a prerequisite for fulfillment or validation. And we talked about that earlier. Embrace wholeness over feeling like you're going to get into a relationship where a person is going to complete you. We're not looking for people to complete us in our 40s. That's just not what we're doing. We are completing ourselves before we get into these relationships. So then we don't have to worry about others completing us. The other thing is to develop a personal mission statement. I really love this one. Develop a personal mission statement and hang it somewhere where you can see it, and or you can make it your screensaver on your phone, just somewhere where this is going to trigger you so you can show up differently. Crafting a mission statement based on your values, your dreams, your life goals. All of this serves as a reminder of one's purpose and values, regardless of your relationship status. You may not be in a relationship right now, and that's okay. Come up with your own mission statement. Craft it based off of what you want your life to look like, the values that you want in your partner. If you don't have some of the values that you're asking your partner to have, it's time for you to work on getting those values, so you're not just asking for the very thing that you are not willing and or just can't give. This clarity helps you anchor self-worth in meaningful and self-defined objectives. With that being said, if you are and have your journal and or your phone to journal, this is the next prompt that I want you to think about and do. What boundary do you need to reinforce in order for your self-worth to come through? What boundary do you need to reinforce in order for your self-worth to come through? And then the second thing is list 3 accomplishments that you are proud of, big or small. This is you celebrating you. Small wins, but they also could be big wins. You have to celebrate yourself, because discovering oneself is a lifelong journey. This is not something that you're going to do overnight. Shifts will occur throughout this journey, but imagine gaining clarity with where you are today and what steps you can take in order to create the love, life, and relationship you long for. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Marshawn Alanio. We're going to do day 6 tomorrow. Let me know down in the comment section below what actually stood out for you in today's session. I love you guys, and there is nothing that you can do about it. And I am going to see you tomorrow. All right. See y'all then. Bye-bye now.